In this clip, we are going to take a look at the mechanics for an ADM strike. ADM is an acronym for Artillery Delivered Mine, or Air Delivered Mine, both of which are present in this game system. An ADM strike lays a minefield in the target hex. As with any strike, the target hex must be either observed or acquired. Note that it is always possible to acquire an empty hex by expending a reconnaissance point during the reconnaissance segment and then rolling on the empty hex row of the reconnaissance table. Any Warsaw Pact air unit called can deliver an ADM strike, provided that the Warsaw Pact player expends an ADM point before it enters the map. When the NATO player makes an air call for an ADM strike, he must expend an ADM point of the same nationality as the active brigade, but no die roll is made on the air call table. Instead, the notes on the air call table will indicate which specific type of friendly air unit automatically responds to that air call. In the case of, say, a West German activation of the 36th Panzer Brigade here, and the discovery of this BMP regiment here, with a bridgehead just across the mine, the NATO player might decide that he wants to make an ADM strike on that hex. He would then make an air call. The notes would indicate that the unit that appears is automatically a West German Tornado. Assume he made the air call for a grand total of 2 air points. Then he would have a 2-strength Tornado unit. Anytime an air unit makes an ADM strike, it is going to have to make that strike on its bombing profile, which means it's going to have to enter the target hex. It can do that on its low altitude bombing profile, or it can do it on its high altitude bombing profile, but it will take anti-aircraft fire in that hex. As long as 2 steps in the air unit survive after enemy anti-aircraft fire in the target hex, then a minefield marker is placed in that hex. If at least 2 steps do not survive enemy anti-aircraft fire to reach the target hex, then the attack is a bust and no minefield marker is placed. But the ADM point remains expended. These rules encourage a player to spend the full 3 air points he can expend for a single air call, so that even if enemy anti-aircraft fire does take out 1 step, the ADM strike will still succeed. Certain artillery units can also make an ADM strike. See case 23.5.4 for all pictures of the artillery units that are eligible to make an ADM strike in the particular game you are playing. If the owning player expends a friendly ADM point of the same nationality as the firing artillery unit, and that unit has a basic fire strength of at least 8, then a minefield marker is placed in the target hex, and any enemy units in the hex immediately undergo a mine attack. Note that a player is not allowed to combine artillery units to make an ADM strike. He's got to make it with 1 unit that has a basic fire strength of at least 8. So, in this example, the NATO player has activated the West German 36th Panzer Brigade, and again, he is looking to make an ADM strike against this BMP regiment here. He decides to make a fire call from the divisional headquarters, which is within command range of this rocket artillery unit here. That rocket artillery unit is within its artillery pool, and the rocket artillery unit is also within range of the target hex. He also refers to his combat support points track, where he sees that he does have a West German ADM point. Accordingly, he expends that West German ADM point, and then he makes the attack, which automatically succeeds because he has at least a basic fire strength of 8, and in this case he has precisely a basic fire strength of 8, and therefore a mine marker is placed directly into the target hex. Every step in this BMP regiment must now undergo a mine attack. So the Warsaw Pact player, the player owning the unit in the minefield, is going to have to roll for every step in that hex. He refers to the mine attack table, where he notes that there are no DRMs that apply to this specific attack. He then rolls a die for each of the 9 steps in his unit, which means he rolls 9 times, and in the event one of those rolls is a 1. This means that the unit will lose 1 step. And that concludes the ADM strike by this rocket artillery unit.